Welcome to Crunch Time, a program dedicated to helping you survive the crunch times in your life, whether they are caused by accidents, natural disasters, poverty, economic recession, depression, or all-out economic collapse, or whether they are caused by your realization that today's food supply is being contaminated by artificial fertilizers, pesticides, and genetically modified organisms, and over-processing of crops into what can hardly be called food. We want to help you through the crunch times in your future by teaching you what we have learned about organic gardening, food storage, and food preparation. We'll bring you into our kitchen and into our garden and share with you what we have learned, hopefully before your crunch times arrive. Now here is Chef Francois.
Welcome to Crunch Time, where Jesus is King and all our desires are to serve Him. Here we have a germination station set up with a grow light. I'm going to remove the grow light here, unplug it. It's on a timer, 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And it looks like white LEDs, but it's actually blue and red. And I'm going to set this off to the side. And I've got some other things that came with the germination station, like this thing here that we're not going to use today. So we have this germination station. If you look underneath it, I've got a heating pad. And under that heating pad, I have a thermostat. This little thing right here is a thermostat that goes over to here, and I've already got it set at about 100 degrees, so it may be 100 degrees underneath here, but by the time the heat gets up into the top where the seeds are, especially when it evaporates the water in the soil and then gets up onto here. The basement down here where I'm doing this is fairly cool, and then it condenses on top and gets a lot of big drops and then falls back in there. So it's probably not going to be 100 degrees where the seeds are, but it should be about 85 at least, which is about right for seeds. So the stevia didn't grow. So what I'm going to do with this germination station, now that I've got some time waiting for some more seeds to come that I want to grow, like stevia, I pulled out all my seeds that I've been saving here. I've got a whole bunch of seeds in here that I bought last year, whole bunches of them, and we've got watermelon seeds there that I saved from my own watermelon last year, and a bunch of all kinds of seeds. I'm going to go through these, and anything that I know is no good, like all these peas that I saved from 5 years ago. I tried planting some of these this year. They didn't germinate, so I'm going to throw those out. Here's my trash can for now. This corn, the corn that's in this bag right here that I bought last year, these did grow, but all these corn here were from 5 or 6 years ago, and they didn't grow. So I'm going to dump those out. I'm going to save the bags though. These bags can come in handy. These peas here is the bag that's left over from the ones that I did plant last year. Hot peppers. I don't know if these will grow or not. I saved these a number of years back. Don't know what year. I should have labeled it what year right here. But if you're going to save seeds from a fruit or a vegetable, you should do what I did on this one here. You should label exactly what it is. This is a pickling cucumber. That's when it's about that long and that big around. And 2011. That's the year that I saved it. That's what I should do. I should have dates on all of these. I know these pickling cucumber seeds are going to be good, so I'm going to leave those over there. The hot pepper seeds, I don't know. So I'm going to plant a couple. Maybe a dark one and a light one. And I'm going to plant them in this box over here somewhere, and I'm going to label where I plant them. Let's say I plant them here and here. I'm going to have a map shaped just like the box, and I'm going to have them labeled right in here what I planted where, and I'm going to plant a whole bunch of different things so that a couple weeks from now I'll know what's growing and what isn't. I was going to plant all of it in large onions that I tried last year, and they take a lot longer to grow than what we have for a season for outdoor planting. So I was going to plant the whole thing in large onions and then transplant them later, but since it's kind of early in the winter to do that, I'm going to do some experimentation and find out what grows and what doesn't in the seeds that I have on stock. So I'm going to take out a couple seeds here, put them on top of my paper, and it looks to me like the light colored seed is the one that should be good. Darker ones look like there's nothing in them, but I don't think any of these will grow, so I'm going to take 2 of each, light and dark. Take these 2 and those 2, and I'm going to plant those. Wish I had more light down here. I'm going to plant those right across the end over here. Now they don't have to be very deep, but they do recommend having them under so they'll at least get wet. So I'm putting them down about 1/4 of an inch. Just pushing them down with my pen. I know what pepper plants look like, so if I get them planted too close to the others that I'm putting next to them, I'll know. So I'll put these seeds back in, and on my map I'll put hot peppers. And I can see already that my fingers are gonna get dirty in. Hot peppers, and these are the only hot peppers I've got, so I'm gonna put them right here for now. And let me see, I had some sweet, well, that's yellow tomatoes. I had some banana peppers, but I didn't save any seeds from those this past summer. I thought I had some more left over, so they might be in this box over here. The small yellow tomatoes, I don't remember if these are the ones that I planted this year or if they're ones that I just saved from a long time ago and don't know if they're gonna be any good. So I'm gonna take a few of those seeds and I'm gonna put them over about, I don't want to drop it in there where the pepper seed is. That'll mess everything up because tomatoes look too much like peppers. Push those down. And I'll push this one down. This one down. Alright, so the second row, which is about 1 inch from the end, I've got small yellow tomato, and I've got that on that tray. I'll push those seeds right back into the bag. And so I'm going to go through all the seeds that I've got here that I'm not sure of how fresh they are. These pickled cucumbers, I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and plant 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to plant those over about 1.5 inches. Now, 2 inches actually. Those have got to go down a lot deeper. So usually what I do on these is I hold them, point them straight down, and then push them in. I'm going to push them down about the length of the seed below the surface. Okay, so I want to write down pickled cucumbers. P-I-C-K-L-E, cucumbers. Alright, I will bring those over here. And let's see, what else do I have here that I want to go through. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Well, let's look at this. Large pumpkins. That I'm pretty sure is going to be okay. And I don't know how old they are, so I'm going to mark right on the bag, old large pumpkins. And I'm going to put one of these in there. No, I'm going to put 2. Just randomly pick out a couple. And let me see, we've used up to 2 inches. I'm going to put these about 2.5 to 3 inches. These will be easily identifiable when they come up. So I'm going to push them down about halfway to the bottom. We've got a tray here that's about 2 or 3 inches deep. I'll leave those showing right now for now, so I know where they are. Old large pumpkins is next. And I'm going to put 2. The pickled cucumbers, I planted 3. Small yellow tomatoes, I planted like 6. And the hot peppers, I planted 4 or 5. I'm going to say 5. So we should keep track of how many we plant, so that'll give us an idea of what the germination rate is on each of them. Now, like I said, I'm going to keep them all separate over here. I should keep them in line just in case I've got other things I can plant. The long beans, the long string beans. These are the ones I actually used last year. I'm pretty sure they're going to be okay for this year, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to take, I don't have many of them left. I should have saved some beans from the long beans that I harvested. I'll take one of the thin ones. And I was given these last year. They may have been fairly fresh, but I don't know. So I'm going to plant one of them right down there. I Got the pumpkins here. I'm going to plant it right there. So, one long bean. Alright, see what else I've got here. In this little bag, I don't think I have anything. Alright, let's see what I've got here. Plum tomatoes, it's empty. We've got cucumbers, our small ones. Gee, I don't know what our small ones means. I didn't plant any of those last year. So I'm going to take a light colored seed and at least one dark colored seed, and I'm going to plant those in a row here, here, and here. Not going to cover all those up until I get them all planted in that row so I can see that I'm not overlapping them. So our small 3, labeled our small cucumbers. Okay. Now these are all for a test. They're all going to be sacrificed once I get them growing, unless I transplant them into something. Pretty sure this corn is good, so I'm just gonna not bother testing that one. These things, I'm not sure what they are. I want to say they're small watermelon, but I've got a bag of small watermelon over here that I don't know what they are, so I'm going to label this bag mystery to mystery. And cucumbers are there. I'm going to plant 2 of these. They might be small cucumbers. I mean watermelons. I don't know for sure. But I'm going to plant those there. And I'm going to put mystery on the bag. There, mystery. Hope I spelled that right. Alright, let me see here. These are large watermelons. I know those are good. I just harvested those last year, but I could test one just to make sure. I'll put those over there, and I'll put that right in there. One large watermelon. One large watermelon. Okay. And Chinese winter squash. These are probably 2 or 3 years old. And they were given to me, or I saved them from a squash that was given to me probably last year or the year before. And I've got fresh ones right here that came out of a squash that was long and skinny with hardly any seeds in the end. And Xiao says you want to save those seeds. Don't know if they're dry enough yet to trigger them. So I'm going to save those. He also had these big pumpkin seeds that were given to us out of a big pumpkin that he got from his Chinese friends down in Albany. and I don't know about those either. Okay, here we have mustard, which I know is infertile. Those are no good. And long radishes, which I know are good because I've already planted some myself. The rest of these are all seeds that were bought last year, and they're probably okay, so I don't have to test them. Okra. I don't even normally grow okra. Alright, peas. There's nothing in that, so I can throw that in the garbage. Buttercup squash. I never plant that, but I could. Radish. These are seeds that I don't even know what year I bought them. I doubt they're labeled. I don't see any label on them. Oh yeah, there's a label. 2011. Seeds should have labels. Yeah, sell by 2011. These will be good, so I don't even have to test those. Alright, so all these in here were ones that I bought last year. And they're all big seeds, so they'll all be good as well. Let's go through this spot over here. Chinese lettuce. I think that's the little black seeds that keep falling out here. Yes. I don't know if this is Napa, but I'm going to take a few that have fallen out of the bag there. Some over here even. And I'm going to put them just past the watermelon. And these are so dark I can't even tell where they are once I get them there, so they probably won't get buried real well. And I'm going to write Chinese lettuce. And then in parentheses, Napa, question mark. Alright, let's look at, now that one has to go over here because those are all the seeds I'm testing. Chinese turnips. These are daikons. Shao will have all kinds of daikon seeds to give me, but I'm going to plant 3 of these just to see if they're still fertile, because they're probably over a year old. I don't know how long daikon seeds will last, but I'm going to plant those. Let me see, we've got the pumpkin seed, we've probably got the other stuff there, so I'm going to plant them right here, there, there, and there. And I'm going to push those down about 1/4 of an inch. Three daikon. Alright. Chinese winter squash. Like I said, those are the ones. Well, I'm going to test a couple anyway. Though we probably won't plant those even if they're good. I'll know that they're good and I could give those away. Alright. Chinese winter squash. Two. Chinese winter squash. Okay. Now I've got cantaloupe. Last last year I planted 2 or 3 in little peat pods. I'll show you what a peat pod is. I happen to have one here that's already expanded. This comes in a shape of like a silver dollar, about 1/4 of an inch thick and that big around, and it's wrapped with like tissue stuff, and you set it in water and it expands like that. So if I put it in water over here in the corner, it would expand. Alright, I'm going to plant 3 of these. And there's one. I don't have to worry about spacing these so that they'll grow well. I'm only testing to see if the seeds are any good. Once I know for sure the seeds are good, I can yank it up. Alright, let's use this last one here. Alright, cantaloupe. I don't think there's anything left in my hand that's any good. So 3 cantaloupe. It says cucumbers. Doesn't say what kind of cucumbers, but I'm going to plant 3 of these, 2 of which don't even look like they're any good. I've probably got these so close together that if I have most of them not germinate, and then I finally get something that germinates down here in this area here, and I don't know what it is, by recognizing it, I know what a cantaloupe looks like. The leaves look like, anyway. I know what watermelon leaves look like, but they have to get up to the real leaf before I know. I've only got this much space left, so. Alright, here's the round watermelons that I had, and let's see if they look like our mystery. They look similar. The mystery ones look a little smaller, but I would say it's watermelon, but I won't find out until I see the first true leaf. So I'm going to take 2 of these round watermelons, and I'm going to plant those in our test batch here. 1, 2. This corn would probably be good. Alright, I put that right down in here. Fairly far down. Okay, welcome back. I have finished planting everything that I'm going to plant. You can see the blue and red lights. Just looks like the same pot I had before. Seeds are down under the surface. But here's my map of what I have planted. I've got the list of trials over here on the right.
Forgot to tell you at the beginning of the show that it's in the middle of the winter right now, and we want to test the seeds so that when springtime comes along, we don't waste growing time by planting seeds that don't grow. In the last minute of our show, I'd like to tell you about the real reason for this show. Jesus Christ, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Without Jesus as my Savior, I would not be confident entering into these trying times that lay ahead. If Jesus is not your Lord and Savior, I suggest you send me an email at crunchtime@roadrunner.com and ask me how you can join the God who loves you, His Son Jesus Christ, and His disciples in everlasting life. For now, I say to you, God bless and keep you and yours. I'll see you next week on Crunch Time with Chef Francois.